Alright, there we go, guys. Good morning. You can, we're going to do 2022's paper. First question there is open up one tourism. So we're going to just go to the folder. We're going to open up one tourism. It's on server. You'll see there's server MS Office CAT paper 1. First question, open the one tourism word processing document, which is an extract of the tourism report for KZN. Change the font of the text, extract from report to small caps. So let's quickly just see there. There, we're going to change that to small caps. So we'll go to home. Sorry, we must enable editing here. Just want to copy it to my... on my desktop. There we go. One tourism. So we're going to select the heading there. We're going to say enable editing, extract from report. You're going to select it, font dialog box, and you will go to small caps there and you'll say okay. Just quickly on the font, I just want to do something else here. Just read the question. Extract from report. Just what you can just add here is if you click on the font dialog box, just know on advanced the spacing can be expanded or condensed. Expanded will simply mean the letters will be further away from each other, and condensed just the opposite. Okay, so please just take note of those two. It's not asked here. It can also be the position can be raised or lowered by a certain amount of PT. Just know on the advanced tab, we do it a bit in grade 10 and then we don't do it again, and it gets asked in the question papers. 1.2, apply text fill effect to the word art text KwaZulu-Natal tourism as follows. Rectangular type gradient fill. So select the heading there, KwaZulu-Natal. You'll see the shape format will appear. You'll go to, just read there again. Rectangular type gradient fill. You'll go to the fill, more fill options. Let's just see there. Sorry, I'm just not 100% sure. There's the fill, more fill colors. Gradient fill. You'll go to word art style, drop down arrow, gradient fill, and then you'll select that. Just read there again. Rectangular type gradient fill. Gradient fill, more gradient fill options. You'll say gradient fill here. You will select your type, rectangular, and they tell us the first gradient stop should be at 60%. So there's the first gradient stop is this one. Position must be 60%. So you move it up until you see 60% there. Okay. Again, guys, easy. You'll select it. You'll go to text fill, gradient fill, more gradient fill. So you'll have the pane on the right hand side. You'll select gradient fill. You'll select your type rectangular, and you'll say the gradient stop of the first one should be 60%. Okay, it's not that difficult, but it is a bit of a mission to get there. Remember, your word art is basically also a shape. The only thing that you will have additional is the shape word art styles, and you'll say here gradient, more options. You select gradient fill, type rectangular. You see there gradient stop is 60%. Just quickly want to put on my magnifier so you can see. Alright, I want to just emphasize this. If you can't find it, you will most probably find it if you right click on the shape and you say format shape. You will get the options here. There's the text options, and then you'll see the gradient fill there. Right, next one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Let's see. So 1.3, modify the style named showcasting so that all the subheadings will display as shown below. So let's just go to the style named showcasting. So home tab, style. You'll see there. I just want to quickly tell you here. If you click here on introduction, you'll see it is showcast style. Let's just scroll a bit down, see if there's another heading there. Public relations and communication, you'll see it's show cost style. So the only thing that they added there to that is they add numbering there. So I'll right click modify, and I'll just go back to the question paper. You see it's 0, 1. They also give us the indentation. It should be on 0, hanging by 1.5. So let's just quickly check on the exam paper how the marks are allocated here. You see there that they do give a mark for the indentation 0, hanging by, and the numbering style 0, 1, 0, 2, and so on. So the first thing we're going to do here is numbering. We'll select that specific number. If it's not here, you'll say define new number list. You'll have there 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's the first option. I'm just going to do it again, guys, so you can see. So I'll go to format, I'll go to numbering, and then I will say define new number format, and here I will say 0, 2, 3, and so on. Please, on this one, I just want to emphasize, remember now they ask basically here numbering. They ask here numbering, but they ask it in a style. So we always know that when we do bullets and numbering, it goes hand in hand with the paragraph dialog box, to change the hanging by and the indentation. So if you did that, you will simply go numbering, new number format, define new number format, and you'll select there 0, 1, and then you'll say OK and OK. Let me just also hand in hand with this. Sorry, it doesn't want to select now. Let's start from the beginning again. Modify, format, numbering. You'll select that numbering. It is added there. And then we must change the option here of the paragraph dialog box, the left. That's where the bullet will start, hanging by 1.5. How do we see this, guys? If you look on the question paper, you'll see the numbering starts on 0. And the hanging indent is 1.5. It's in between 1 and 2, exactly in the middle, so it's 1.5. Modify the style named show casting so that all the subheadings will display as follows. So they added numbering there. So what we're going to do after this, you change it to 0 and 1.5. You'll say, make sure automatically update is ticked, and you'll say OK. So now you'll see if you select all the show casting headings, it should be numbered. And you'll see on your ruler bar, it will be on 0, where the number should start, and the text should be 1.5 from the number. Happy? So that is showcast. Remember, if we work with styles, just quickly, it actually also has a lot to do with the table of content, because your table of content is based on what style you use. The next one, find the citation in the third paragraph that refers to Department of Statistics South Africa. Convert that citation to static text. So that's quite an easy mark. So let's just search there for that citation on the Department of Statistics. It's in the third paragraph, 1, 2, 3, third paragraph. Click on the drop down. You'll say convert citation to static text. Then you'll see it's not a field anymore, it's not a citation, but it's simply text that is displayed there. The next one, happy? Find the text question 1.5, vraag 1.5, and replace it with a circular relationship smart art graphic as shown below. So they give us there the type of smart art that we will use. Like I said 100 times, guys, it's difficult it's difficult to do all the smart arts, but they tell us here exactly what smart art we should use. So let's go to 1.6, 1.5, there's 1.5. I'll remove that text, guys, because the question is replace that text there. Replace the text with a circular relation smart art graphic as shown below. So we'll click on insert, and myself, I'm also not sure what smart art we will use. We'll click on smart art. We will now go through it and just check which one they want. It is a circular relationship. So let's see their relationship. There we go. There is circle relationship. Sorry, circle relationship. So you select that one. You click on OK, and now it's quite easy because they also give us the pane here on the left hand side. So you'll see immediately if you insert the smart art, you'll have smart art design. Then you click on text pane, and then here you will see the labels also. So the first one there that we must have is tourism. So you'll type in there tourism. Then we will have there, the one is employment, transport, employment, transport. And then they added another one there. So I'm just going to click on add shape. So it's employment, transport, and food. So if you have this text pane here, then it's quite easy, because if you click on add shape, you can promote, demote. So that can go to the previous level, or the first level, the second level, or even the third level. In this case, it doesn't actually work, but you basically, if you have create graphic there, it's quite easy to manipulate the smart art. Okay, so that is the smart art you had to insert. Just quickly, they tell us there, font size of the text tourism is 14 pt. You can see tourism is bigger than the rest, so I'll just select the tourism, and I'll go to the home tab, and I'll change the font there to 14. Right, so that's also not that difficult, quite fairly straightforward. It's 4 marks. Circular smart art relationship inserted, a circle relationship smart art inserted. You added the text correctly, and you added another level, and you changed it to 14 pt. So you did 4 things: inserted the smart art, you added a new level, you added the text, and you changed the tourism to 14 pt. 1.6, find and replace all the occurrences of the exact word tourism with a highlighted word tourism. So it's quite also not difficult. We know we're going to use find and replace. Just quickly, find the exact word tourism with a highlighted word tourism. So we must search for tourism, replace it with tourism, but the tourism then must be highlighted. Okay? First thing, before you do anything, let's go to the top of the document, put your cursor there in the first paragraph. At the beginning, you click on home, replace, but this is important. Have a look on your ruler bar. Have a look on your home tab on the font group. What color is highlighted there? Is it yellow? Is it yellow? We must make sure that this color is a color and it doesn't state no color. It must be yellow. Then you will search for tourism, and you will replace it with tourism. But here's the trick. It is the exact word, so it should not change a part of the word tourism in a word. It should only search for tourism. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to search for tourism. We're going to replace it with an exact word of tourism. So you're going to say here, find whole words only. And you're going to click on the drop down of replace with, and we said it must be highlight. So first thing, you're going to search for tourism, you're going to replace it with tourism. With tourism, what that you are searching for, it must be find whole words only. Must be find whole words only. And here where you will see replace with replace with, you will select the, guys, this is important, because if this is no color, if it's no color, you will do this and there will be no tourism highlighted. Okay? So here I'm going to say replace all. You should see all done. We made 33 changes. So let's quickly just see on the memo what they stated there. They said there, match case plus find all words only. Format highlight except any color. Sorry, they also said match case. So let's just see there, my mistake, there should be 16 replacements made. Okay, match case, because it should be lowercase letters, and then whole words only. Question is, again, find and replace all the occurrence of the exact word tourism. So it must be spelled also exactly the same. I missed that one. And with a highlight word tourism. So you're going to say find tourism, match case, find all words only, replace with tourism, but you're going to then say format highlight. And then it depends on the highlight color that is selected on the font group. Okay, it depends on that color. I'm going to just change it to another color so you can see. You will see there 16 all done, 16 changes made. It should not be 33 because match case must also be ticked. Okay. Right, the next one, sorry, that's my mistake. It's only 2 marks, guys. So look here how they combine it. Match case plus find whole words only. And then format is highlighted. 16 changes made. Right, the next one. Find the text that starts with public relations and ends with effects of the pandemic and do the following. So let's see there. Let's see. Public relations and then down. So let's search again. Let's search for that. So that I just want to get the correct paragraph. Find the text that starts with public relations and ends with effect of the pandemic. Can't find it. Oh, there we go. So it's from the top there to where you'll see it's green. Public relations down to effects of the pandemic. Place the text into 2 columns. Change the page orientation only of only this text to landscape. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say this layout columns 2. Layout columns 2. And now what do we know when we insert columns? We know that they insert a section break before the columns, and also they insert a section break after the column. You can see there. Okay? So anywhere there's also a section break continuous. So anywhere where you click inside these 2 columns, click there layout orientation landscape. So what should happen is you should only change those pages to portrait, to landscape. You'll see the other pages are portrait. So it's quite easy because they ask us to insert 2 columns. You will know that before the column and after the 2 columns, they insert the break, the section break, and then we just click anywhere in these 2 columns, and then we change it to layout landscape. It's 2 marks. So 1 mark for placing the text into 2 columns. We know that before and after these columns they insert section breaks, and then the page orientation of only this text to landscape. So 2 columns, landscape applied to the text. Next one, find the heading pandemic and mark it as an entry. Add a sub entry called COVID to this main entry. So first thing that we're going to do before we do anything, we're going to put on the show and hide button. We're going to search for pandemic. There. We will select pandemic. We will say reference. Mark entry. They tell us there, find the heading pandemic and mark it as an index entry and add a sub entry called COVID to this main entry. So there's a sub entry. We're going to just type in there COVID. I'm asking you to put on the show and hide so that you can see what happens. So you'll say mark. What you should have there then, you can just close. You should have there pandemic, XE, pandemic, colon, COVID. So that colon, COVID is your sub entry. Okay? You'll see if you insert an index at the very end, you'll see there pandemic with this blue background color, with this light blue background color, will be inserted, as well as just below it a sub entry called COVID. Let's see if they ask us to insert an entry, an index. They don't ask us, so let's quickly insert an index somewhere here at the end. just to practice a bit. You can just at the very end, just press, after that page break, after the page break, just press enter a couple of times, so even if it jumps to the next page, it's fine. I'm wondering if they don't ask us to do no, they don't. Well, they do ask us, yeah, they ask us 1.10, so we will get there. I'm going to do 1.8, and then I'm going to jump to 1.10 quickly. They tell us then, insert an index below the text question 1.10, so that the page numbers will be right aligned with solid line tab leaders. So 1.10, I'm just going to put my cursor here, below 1.10, just read there what they ask us. Insert it below the text, right, so it's below here. We're going to go to reference, insert index. They give us specifications there. The page numbers must be right aligned and it must be a solid line. They don't tell us how many columns it should be or the type, so we assume it's going to be 2. Insert an index below the text so that the page numbers will be right aligned with a solid tab leader. So you'll click on OK. You'll see here, guys, there's pandemic. There's COVID is as a sub-entry below pandemic. You'll see tourism also has hosting as a sub-entry. Let's just see there. So on page 4. So on page 4, tourism has a sub-entry called hosting. So you just go up back to, you'll see this pandemic is highlighted in that light blue. Do you see that? We do not want that light blue. It's not part of the question paper, but let's say we do not want that light blue there. So what we will do is we will go and put on the show and hide button on the paragraph group. We will then see pandemic here is also highlighted in blue. So we will select the pandemic that's highlighted in blue and we will say no color. Because any formatting that is done here on the XE, on the entry, that is what will be displayed. So if you removed the highlight from pandemic and you go back to your index and you update your index, right click on it and say update index, you'll see then pandemic will not be highlighted in blue anymore. Okay, so it's important that you see what is after the XE. That if you put on the show and hide, you must put on the show and hide, otherwise you will not find this XE. That pandemic, you'll see will be highlighted. If you remove the highlight, it will also be removed from the index. The next question, guys, 1.8. 1.9. Insert a bibliography in the Harvard and Gilead bibliography style below the text question 1.9. So we're going to put our cursor below question 1.9. We're going to go to reference. First, we're going to select the Harvard and Gilead, and then we will just click on bibliography and we will insert any one of those. Okay, so that's quite easy, but the Harvard must be there. You click on bibliography and you will insert the bibliography. Right, so we did 1.10, save and do not close one tourism. So we're going to just click on save. Just going to put off the show and hide for now. Right, now they tell us, do the following. Open the file one poster using the P1 asterisk password. So let's quickly go there into the exam folder. There's one poster. So I just want to get to the right folder. There's one poster. You'll double click on it. You'll see it's it's an application.exe file. The password there is P1 star. Right. So only thing you do is you double click on P1 poster. You'll say extract. You'll type in the password P1 star. And then they ask us there. Paste the group of 5 images from the one poster document into the one tourism document below the text question 1.11. So what we're going to do there is we're going to open up that one poster file that you extracted. We will select this shape. We will copy it. You will click on it, you will right click, you'll say copy. And on question 1.11 at the very end, you'll just click after it. I'm going to press enter once and I will paste it. Here's it important. The three options you have, you must not paste it as a picture, you must keep source formatting. The second one, so that you also have the shapes there. Okay? Now they ask us there, paste the group of the 5 images from the one poster document into the one tourism document. We did that. Edit this group of 5 images to appear as shown below. You can see there, guys. Let's just compare it. There's the 5 pictures. If you look at your example and you look at what it should look like, what do you see? What did they do with the pictures? They cropped it to a shape. Ne? So this picture here is just below it. So I'm just going to move it a bit so that it's below that one. And now I will select the pictures. I'll click on picture format and I'll crop it to shape. And I will select the relevant shape there. Let's just see, it's that one hexagon. Let's just compare it again, guys. Ons gaan dit net weer vergelyk. You can see there. Edit the group of 5 images to appear as shown in the screenshot below. So basically what they did there is they cropped it to shape. Sorry, I just want to actually get to the compare it. Yeah. They cropped it to shape. So that is easy marks, guys. The crop to shape they do ask in the exams. Sorry, that's one poster. It should be on one tourism. Sorry, it must be here. Same thing that you will do. Select it. Picture format, crop to shape, and you'll select that one. The hexagon. That one. Okay. Sorry, this one I'm just going to move up a bit. So this picture, I'm just going to move it to be here. Let's just check on the mark allocation on the question paper. 1.11, file unzipped. One image appear on the last page of one tourism document. All the images are cropped to hexagon shapes. Rhino image in line with and touching the bottom of the elephant picture or image. Right, you can save this one. 2.1. You can close both of those ones. Sorry, I did it on the one poster. It doesn't. Yeah. I did it on both. The next one is to competition. So you're going to open up to competition. They tell us there, which gives information about competition to win a holiday in KZN. 2.1, modify the drop down W found in the first paragraph as follows. So enable editing. The W there, you will see that's the drop cap. So let's read there what they want from us. Position the drop cap so that it does not appear in the margin. Position the drop cap so it does not appear in the margin. So let's right click on it, drop cap. Instead of selecting margin, we will select drop. So click on the drop cap. Make sure your arrows are pointing in all directions. Right click then and then select the drop cap and then you'll select in margin. I'm going to read the rest of the paper as well. Format the drop cap to drop over 3 lines and set the distance between the drop cap and text to 0.5. So it must only be dropped 3 lines and the distance from text should be 0.5 centimeters. And you'll say okay. One thing that I just want to quickly highlight to emphasize here is this. You see the W has a blue background color. Do you see that? Ne? If you want to remove it, that's just highlight. So you'll select there no color. What they also do is sometimes they fill. They fill that with a color. So be careful that it's not, if you must remove it, it can be either a highlight or it can be filled. Okay? So just check that if it must be removed, that you remove the correct one. You'll see if it's highlight yellow, Yeah, if it's highlight yellow, it'll look like that, but you'll see on the highlight and the fill, there will be colors. Okay? Please. Just quickly on the drop cap, just another one. Just know that the drop cap can also have borders. So you can customize it, you can change the border color, you can change it the way, how it should be applied, what type of line it should be, but just note of that as well. So to get to borders, you'll click on the border, arrows pointing in all directions, right click, you'll see borders and shading. Just take note, it wasn't asked here, but it can be asked here. 2.2, insert a 3pt paragraph border around the text that starts with please share and ends with the number of shares. So let's go there quickly. Please share up until number of shares. We must put a border around it, a paragraph border, so we will go to design, home tab. There's on the paragraph group drop down arrow, borders and shading. And here they tell us a 3pt line. So it's going to be 3pt line, a box, 3pt line. So we have the insert a 3pt paragraph border around the text that starts with please. Make sure here you apply to paragraph, not text. If you apply to text, it's going to be around the words only. It must be paragraph. Then you'll say okay. Quite an easy marks there. 2 marks. Create a link on the win to navigate to the following website. So that must go to that website. So I'm just going to copy that link. So you can type it actually in the exam. So there's win. You'll select it. Insert link. And then you'll say there the address will be https gosafari.co.za. Just quickly on this, guys, it can be an existing file or web page. It can be placed in the document. It can even create a new document or an email. They had asked email also in the exams. They also love to ask the screen tip. So this is just, if you have your cursor over it, it will show you there. I'm just going to type in there Go Safari. It's not asked. But it's quite a good exercise. You just add a help text, a screen tip there. You'll see if you click on OK and you have your cursor on win, you'll see there Go Safari will appear there on the screen tip if you have your cursor over win. Also not difficult, quite easy marks that you can get with the link. Next one, edit the form below the heading competition form as follows. Replace the text question 2.4.1 with an appropriate control with the following options. So here you have what form will we insert here? Let's just scroll down. There's question 4.1.2, the age field. So I'm just going to remove it. I'll click on the developer tab. We're going to use the legacy tools. And then we did the 3 basics one. The one is the text box form field. The next one is a checkbox form field. And the one we are looking for is a drop down form field. So we're going to select the 3rd one. On the developer tab, you'll see controls, legacy. You're going to select the 3rd one. You're going to then double click on it and you're going to add those options to it. It's going to be bigger than 35, smaller than 35. Then it's going to be 35 to 55, and then it's going to be bigger than 55. How do you display the developer tab? You click on File, More, Options, and then you click here on Custom Ribbon, and on the right hand side you must just tick there Developer. Okay? I'm going to quickly repeat it. It's going to be, if you do not have the developer tab there, you click on File, Options, or More, and in my case Options, Custom Ribbon, and then you might just show the developer is ticked there on the right hand side. Happy? Okay? And then if you have the developer there, you're going to add a drop down form field with smaller than 35, 35 to 55, bigger than 55. What they also love to do here on this question is to add a help text or to add items here that you must move up or down. They'll tell you bigger than 55 must be first, then it must be 35 to 55, and then smaller than 35. Okay? Guys, you must add this drop down form field. Just have a look here, not these ones here, because these are not the correct ones. You must click on legacy form and you must select the drop down form field. You must not select the ones that is actually there on display. You must select the legacy forms, legacy tools, and then the legacy forms, the third one. And then you add the options there. We only do basically the first three. We do the text box form field, we do the checkbox form field, and we do the drop down form field. Happy? So that one, you will double click on age on that drop down form field, and you just simply add the items there. What they also ask in the exam is that there must be a blank space at the top. It must be blank. It should not show you the first option. So then you just add an empty space to that drop down form field. Just quickly, they did ask this also in an exam. So where you simply add an empty space there and you move it to the first option. Then you'll see the first option, there will be nothing in that field. Okay, they had asked that in the previous exam as well. The next one, 2.4.2, format the cell number field to an appropriate data type and length. So the cell number field is this one here, double click on it. We must change it to regular text and we must change the characters to 10. Why must we change that cell number field to regular text 10? Because that is text that must be, numbers that must be treated as text. So here you'll see type regular text, maximum length 10 characters. They also add the, I'm not 10 characters. 11 or 14 is also accepted because of that plus 27 that is added in some cases. Okay, but in our case we know it's 10. Happy? Not difficult, quite easy, guys. To manipulate these fields, you just double click on them. You'll just double click on them if you want to manipulate the field, or you want to enter the properties of the field. Next one, the number of extra entries will be twice the number of times a person shared the form via WhatsApp. Modify the extra entries field to calculate how many extra entries a person will get. Hint, use the bookmark name inside the number shared field. So let's quickly see there, the number shared field, let's just see there, number shared. The bookmark there is share. Can you see there, there is share? Okay, so now on the extra entries, you will say there it is a calculation. It will be a bookmark that is share times 2. So they tell us there, I'm going to read the question again. The number of extra entries will be twice the number of times a person shared the form via WhatsApp. You'll see there, they've used the bookmark share. So that field is actually has a bookmark that is named share. And now they tell us there, modify the extra entry field to calculate how many extra entries a person will get. Hint, use the bookmark inside the number shared field. Let's just see there, so you'll double click there on extra entries, you'll change it to calculation, you'll say the expression is share times 2. Let's see on the memo how the marks are allocated. It is, the type is a calculated field, the expression is share times 2. If you press Alt F9 here, you should see the toggle field, you'll see the format text share times 2. So what this question was a bit more difficult because they ask us to use the number shared also in the calculation here. Okay? So that is a new one. The next one there is find the text that starts with backpackers and ends with friends and family, and apply word feature to display the text as shown below. So let's quickly see there. There they are. So what do they have here, guys? They have text that we must convert as a table. Do you see that? They have two tabs there, 6.1 centimeter left tab, and they have a 11 centimeter, 11.01 or 0.5 left tab there. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the content, insert tables. We'll have the convert text to table. Here they'll ask you the number of columns. We want 3 columns. The fixed width should be fixed, and then it's separated by tabs. You can see here, if you put on the shown height button, you can see the arrows there. Those arrows indicate that it is tabs that were used. So we click on insert table, convert text to table. We'll select their tabs and we'll say OK. The only thing that we must do here is we must merge the 2 last cells. Do you see that? Stay with friends and family. So here we will select the 2 last cells. We'll select both of them. We'll say merge cells. Okay, so you will select only the last 2 fields, the last 2 cells. Stay with friends and family, and then you have the you'll have the empty cell, and you click on merge cells. It's quite an easy marks. Guys, grade 12s, it's again grade 10 work this, né? It's grade 10 work, so you should be familiar with this. 2.6, add a signature line below the text, question 2.6, and allow the signer to add comments. So let's quickly see there. There's question 2.6. So they tell us there, add a signature line below the text. So it's going to be below this text. I will go to the developer tab. See the signature line. It was asked last year in the trial exam as well. Now I can't find it. Insert. There's the signature line. Right, so it's on insert tab, signature line, and then you also tick there, allow the signer to add comments. Okay, you also tick there, allow signer to add comments. You can see there, if you insert it, it will look like this. You can also change the setup. If you click on it, if the signature line is already inserted, you can right click and select the signature setup, and then you can add or change the properties of the signature line there. Happy? Next question. So that's 2 marks. If a question like this, guys, it's not something maybe that you did in a class or in a textbook or but you must just search around. It will be somewhere. I will suggest in the exam, if you get to this question and you can't find the signature line, don't spend 10 minutes searching for it. Just make a star next to the question, and then if you are finished up until question 7, you come back to 2.6 and you try to do 2.6 again. Okay? 2.7, find the heading competition terms and conditions and do the following. So competition terms and conditions, they tell us there, you select it. Now they ask us to change the character spacing of this text to condensed. So we will go to the home tab, font dialog box. We will say spacing condensed. Okay? And they tell us they change the paragraph spacing of the text below this heading to 15 pt after. Change the paragraph spacing of the text below this heading to 15 pt after. So what we will select is the list there, the text. We'll go to the paragraph dialog box. You'll say after spacing 15. Just going to read the question again. Change the paragraph spacing of the text below this heading to 15 pt after. So you'll go select the text below that heading. You'll select the spacing 15 pt after. Right, 15 PT after. Next question, save and close, question 3. Just quickly on question 3, I want to mention something before we start here. Use absolute cell reference only where necessary. Insert formula of functions in such a manner that the correct results will still be obtained even if the values are changed in the existing data. This is quite important for me, the third bullet. A lot of the learners will do a question, but they will not use cell references. They'll type in the values manually. And then anywhere where we change the value inside the data, it should actually automatically change to the correct answer. So we must be very careful for that third bullet. Should you need to use building blocks, use the space allocated for this in the spreadsheet data file. Open the 3 tourist spreadsheet. So let's go to 3 tourist. Work in the data worksheet. Enable editing. Work in the data worksheet. Right, now they ask us there. Format cell A3 to appear exactly the same as A19. So let's look at A19. There's A19. What cell must appear exactly the same? A3. So A3 is this cell, must appear exactly like this cell. So what you will do is you'll click on A19, you'll click on Format Painter, and you'll click on A3. It's important, guys. Remember, the Format Painter takes all the properties of A19 and it applies it to A3. Okay, A19. Click on A19 Format Painter and select the A3 cell. You'll see it will change automatically that to bold. It will automatically add a background. It will automatically change the font to that, the font color to red. So there's a lot of things that if you do it manually, it will take you a lot of time and it will be incorrect. Because definitely you will miss somewhere. You will miss something. You'll somewhere not change the font type. You'll maybe not change the color. So it's only one mark. So that's quite easy to do. Format cell A4 to G4 to display as shown below. So you'll see there, look at the alignment first. So the first thing that I've noticed there is the alignment. We have there in the middle, center. So the horizontal alignment is center. And then we have the vertical alignment, top, middle, bottom. It's in the middle. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to select the cells. I'm going to just change the vertical alignment to middle. Okay, it's 2 marks, so there must be something else that we missed. What is the thing that we have missed? If you look there, they have a thick black border around the cells. So I will select the, I'll go to the Home tab, Borders and Shading, and now more borders. Here you will choose a thick line and you'll select Inside and Outline. I'm going to quickly do it again. You select the borders. If you do not want to use this option, you can use the draw border command as well, where you say the line style must be thick, and you take you'll take that pencil or pen and you will draw the borders where you want it to be. You can do that as well. I'm a big fan of draw borders because it can be asked, for instance, that you in Word it can be asked that certain, especially in a table, that certain borders are on a specific place. Then it's quite easy to use draw borders. Okay, but it's your choice. Let's just see the mark allocation for 3.2. It is vertically centered, thick borders applied to all the cells. Okay, so we just add borders there. The easiest way is to draw borders, because then you do not need to worry about these options about outlines or inside. It's quite easy. You just select the line type, the thickness, and you will draw the border on the grid itself. 3.3. 8 job opportunities were created for every 100,000 that tourists spend on accommodation. Insert a formula in B18 to determine the number of jobs that were created in 2020. Round off this answer to the nearest whole number. Round this answer off to the nearest whole number. So 8 job opportunities were created for every 100,000 spent. So in B18, what we need to do is, we need to say that B17 divided by 8. Yeah, sorry, it's the other way around, 3.3. It must be divided by 100,000. Sorry, it's going to be that amount divided by 100,000. Because then it is 8 jobs created for each 100,000. So it's going to be B17 divided by 100,000, because then we know that is 8 jobs that are created. You're going to times it with 8. I just want to quickly do this. You're going to then times it with 8. That is the total number of jobs that will be available. So it's going to be your total spending, the total spending divided by 100,000 times 8. Right. Right, next question. So it's going to be B7, no, sorry, not next question. This question, they just tell us here we must use the round function, round up. They tell us there, round off your answer to the nearest whole number. So here you had to use round up. So what is the key here, guys? If you have inserted the whole formula like that, you'll just type in there at the beginning, round up, open bracket. You go to the end of the formula, they'll ask you the number of digits is going to be 0. Sorry, I'll just, the 0 I missed there again. Number of digits, 0. So it's going to be round up. So first do the whole calculation, where you say B17 divided by 100,000. Times 8, and we're going to round it up. So after that, you'll go to after the equal sign, you'll simply type in round up. You'll go to the end of the formula, you'll type in semicolon, and you'll say 0 decimal places. It's 4 marks. Let's just see there. It's 1 mark for round up and 0. It's another mark for B17 divided by 100,000 and then times 8. So that is how the calculation is done. 3.3. Let's see 3.4. They tell us here the monthly total in column G is calculated by adding the amounts in each column, B to F. So let's just get there, G. So B to F, if we add up all of those numbers that we get in column B to F, we get the answer of column G. Insert a combination of functions in cell G5 to display the total spending of the month of January, and which will leave the cell empty if any data is missing in that row. Copy the function down to the rest of the cells. The monthly cost is calculated in column G by adding the total amounts in each column B to F if a cell in one of the columns is empty. The cell in column G must also be empty. So if there's one cell here, like here, that is empty, then column G, the cell must also be empty. Now, let's quickly see then. What we need to first determine here, I'm going to use building blocks. What we need to determine here is if there's in each one something. Are you with me? How many items do we have there? We have accommodation, food, domestic transport, recreation, and shopping. So we must check if there's 5 items in this cell. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to use count. You can use count or count A, because count will work with numbers. We want to see if there's something in all of these cells. And what I said to you guys in the beginning, I said, please Let's give the building block a name here. So I'm just going to type in here at the top so the marker will know what you do is, I'll just say number of items. So that the marker will just know exactly what you are trying to do. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to test if all the cells have content in them. After this, I just quickly want to also show you here. After this, we're going to use a basic if to do the following calculation. We're going to say if right. If what? If this cell is equal to 5. If that is true, then add up for me cell B5 to F5. If that is false, we must leave the cell blank. So we have look at the top, if I5, if my building block is equal to 5, that means all of these cells has something in this, in it. That means there is accommodation, food, domestic, recreation, shopping. There is a value inside each cell. If that is true, then we add up accommodation to shopping. We add up B5 to F5. If one of the cells is empty, that means if it's 3, 2, or 1, then 1, 2, 3 is here. If it's another number other than 5, it will not add it up together. I'm just going to go through the memo here. They tell us a basic if. What do they do here? They added the building block into the calculation. I'm not a big fan there because if you mess something up here, then you will have a problem with your if true and if false. But you can see there, they also added the count B5 to F5. So if it's equal to 5, if all of those headings are included, there are 5 items, they add up B5 to F5. If not, it is a inverted comma if it's blank. Okay? That's important. Like I said, the building blocks I prefer to use. At least you can get some marks with your building blocks, even if you couldn't do the whole calculation. They tell us they copy the function down to cell G6 to G16. I said to you, sorry, not G17, from G5 to G16. Next one, apply conditional formatting to cell F20 to F31. So let's look for F20 is from here to F41, F31. To format the cells with a blue gradient fill color, when the amount of shopping in a particular month in 2021 is greater than the amount of shopping in the same month as 2020. So let's quickly see the if conditional formatting. New rule. Here we must check. I just quickly want to see the headings there at the top. Sorry, I just want to see the headings there. Yeah, that is 2020, and this is 2021. The question there is, format the cell blue gradient fill, blue fill when the amount of shopping in a particular month in 2021 is greater than the one in 2022. So I'm going to go to conditional formatting, manage rules, new rule. What if this month is bigger than that of the previous year? We're going to add a gradient fill there. We're going to remove the absolute cell references. We're going to remove the absolute cell reference because we wanted to use each and every cell. And then we're going to format it to fill. They tell us there a blue fill color. So with a blue fill color. Right. Just going to check the memo quickly also what they tell us there. The worksheet. Conditional formatting. If the cell value is bigger than 5, no absolute cell reference on the rows and then a blue color. Guys, kyk gou so conditional formatting manage rules. There's a couple of ways. They have here in this case the cell F5 bigger than F20, F20 bigger than F5. So I've used this one. I've used the full range. You can just simply use one cell, same difference. So we say that if this is bigger than that, if the 2021 is bigger than 20, yeah, if the 2021 is bigger than the 2020, you can see these, the first three is bigger, third one nothing, fourth one April, you can see that one is bigger, 2020 is bigger than 2021. Right, the next one, sorry, just on the conditional formatting quickly, what ek net wil sê is, on the conditional formatting, make sure you only have one rule there, because the markers will only mark the first conditional formatting. So if you applied 500 conditional formattings, and the last one is the correct one, unfortunately, the first one will be marked. So if you have new rules here, that is something else, that is 100% correct. If you have that one there, you'll get no marks. Okay? Must only have one conditional formatting there. Next one, the graph, the work in the chart worksheet. The graph chart shows a comparison of the spending on food and beverages for every month of 2020 and 2021. Modify the graph, the chart to appear as shown below. So the series value were incorrectly applied to 2021. So let's go to chart, let's see there the series value. So I'm going to click on the graph, chart design, select data. Let's first just see here what they did. On 2021, that's correct. On food, they have used C5 to C16. So let's just quickly see there what ranges they have. They used the wrong column. Here on 2021, just note, they just tell us that 2021 is incorrectly applied. They've used data D20 to D31. So let's quickly see there on the data D20 to D31, they have used domestic transport. You see that? For 2021, they have used domestic transport. And they should have used food and beverages. They should have used column C, but they've used column D. So select data. There they have the wrong column. They should have used column C. So I'm just going to change that to C. Alright. Again guys, kyk so they have select data. Here on food, on 2021, they've used domestic instead of food. So they've used the wrong column. It should be column C and not column D. And then with food, what we have there is 2020. So there on food, we must edit it and we must type in there, instead of food, there must be the number 2020. Just see there. Or you can select the cell. I just quickly want to see what they did with 2021. They've typed in 2021. Can you type in 2020 there in those inverted commas? 2020. Okay. The next thing that I will just emphasize here, you can see we're going to start from the top, food and beverages, kos en drank. Let's see if that heading is there. There the heading is. Is the heading in the correct place? Yes, it is. The intervals here on the left hand side, we have the 200 and 2.5, and then we have the 1.5, 1, 5, and then 0. Let's see if the intervals are correct. It is 0, 5, but what do we see here on the intervals? If you look very closely here, you can see it's separated by thousands. Do you see that? There's a space in between the thousands. 2.5 million, 2 million, 1.5 million. You can see the zeros there is expanded. So let's click here on the format axis, and then we will go down. We will see if we can see the option on numbers that tells us they use 1000 separators. You'll see now, if you look closely to mine, you'll see it is separated by thousands. 30 space, 500 space, 2 happy. So you must look very closely, because if you just look at the data like this, you will not find actually a difference. Let's see further on. We have the major grid lines there, that is there. Then we have these round bullets on each peak. Do you see that? On each data type. It's also there. There's the round one, the round. So that is correct. The bottom, what do we see here on January up until December? Can you see it's flipped 45 degrees? Format axis. Format axis. Oh, this must just be gone. Format axis. So I'm also not 100% sure. I'm going to search around here. We will go to the text direction. You can see custom. We're going to make it minus 45. So the custom angle, we must change it to minus 45 degrees. So you'll see there, it's a bit tilted like that. Okay? So I'm going to click on the axis, right click format axis. I'll go to text options. There you have text box. Here you have custom angle, and you make it minus 45 degrees. I want to just check on the memo. There's one thing we still have to do. The data series changed. Yes, we changed that to 2020. We only have to move the legend. The y-axis, we use the 1000 separators. We also have the custom angle on the x-axis minus 45. So the only thing that we short here is the legend. That must not be here on the left hand side. So you'll see here what is nice, guys. Anything you want, if you have this pane on the right hand side, you can just click on the items and the properties of that will appear. In this case, we will click on the legend, or if you can't find the legend, you'll say add quick parts, legend, and then you'll select there where the legend should be. In this case, the legend must be at the bottom. But if you want to format the legend, you'll say there legend entry, you'll select the text options again. Yeah, let's just see here if you can find it here. You can play around here. You will definitely find it somewhere here. Legend options, position, there you go. If you click on legend options, you'll see the position there. You'll just select bottom. Interesting, mine doesn't move. Let's just undo a bit. If I click there on the legend, there I have legend options, and I select the bottom. It should move there to the bottom, yes. So that is what you had to do with this, guys. So please, in the exam, they love to give you a screenshot, and then they ask you to replicate the graph that you see on the screenshot. Please look very carefully at all the details. What you should do here on 3.6, use the marks that are indicated here to know you must do 5 things. There are 5 things you have to do. First one is change the data of the series, then change the series name, the legend that is below, 1000 separators, and minus 45 degrees. Okay? Question 4, you can save and close this one. Question 4 is 4 sightings. 4.1, work in the Lions worksheet. First question there. Insert a function in D3 to determine the most lines seen on any given game drive. So in D3, there you're going to use max. You'll use max of then number of lines seen is column. The most lines seen is 14. I just want to here insert a function in D3 to determine the most lines seen on any game drive. So here we use max. Just quickly look at the mark allocation, guys. It's 1 mark. That is for me important. Normally in grade 10 you'll get a mark for max and you'll get a mark for range. They are moving now towards giving only one mark for max and G7 to G105. Important thing for me here, guys, is that you note the following. The range is G7 to G105. If it's G106, wrong. If it's G8, wrong. Okay, so please make sure on accuracy on the ranges. 4.2. Oh, what is nice here, they tell us insert a sum ifs. So a sum ifs, grade 12, what is the difference between a sum if and sum ifs? Sum ifs is more than one criteria, more than one condition. For me, here important thing, sum ifs, the sum range is first. Where if you use only sum if, the range is at the end. Insert a sum if in D4 to determine the total number of lions seen at the Mpila camp, where the sightseeing includes cubs. So right, what we're going to use here, we're going to use here sum ifs. So we fx sum ifs, there's sum ifs. The sum range is what must be added. So let's read it again. The total number of lions seen. The number of lions seen. The first criteria is that is from that lodge. Ne? So we have the criteria 1 range is C7 to C105, and the camp will be Mpila camp. So we will just type in the criteria 1 Mpila camp, and then the second option there is cubs seen. That is true. So again, I'm going to go to I want to go to the memo quickly. You'll see there, sum ifs, the sum range is G7 to G105, that's correct. Then we have the camp, C7 to C105, Mpila camp. And then the second one is true, that has cubs, that is column H. H7 to H105, that is true. What I like on this grade 11, 12 is that they tell us there to use sum ifs. Okay, that gives it actually a way. Happy? I'm going to just give you a couple of seconds to complete that, guys. Just have a look there on mine. It's sum ifs, G7 to G105. That is what we want to add together. Then we have the Mpila camp, C7 to C105. And then we have a second criteria that is true, cub seen. And that's column H. Please, you can note here, it's G7, G105, C7, C105, H7, H105. Please take note of that. Happy? Sum ifs, the sum range is G7, G105. The first criteria is Mpila camp, that is found in column C. The second one is cub seen, true, in column H. The next one in 4.3, are you guys with me? 4.3, insert a VLOOKUP function in A7 to display the surname of the ranger based on the ID of the ranger and the list in the ranger's worksheet. So let's go to A7. So what we want is the surname of the ranger based on their ID. So BR at field is the surname Brown that we want to display there. So we will click on FX, VLOOKUP. Again, they tell us to use a VLOOKUP. What do we want to look up? We want to look up the ranger's ID. We want to look it up in this table. I always tell you guys, what do? You select the whole table immediately after you press F4. You put absolute cell reference on the table, because if you autofill it down, you want it not to autofill down, or you don't want the table to move down as well. The column index number here, we have the ranger ID. We don't want the name, we want the surname. What column is that? That is the third column. And we're going to use here true or false. We're going to use there false. Why false? Because it's an exact value. It is BR at field. That is the value that you must look up. There's no intervals. If we use true, there is intervals. Alright, so it's VLOOKUP. What do you want to look up? You want to get the ranger's ID. If the ranger's ID is equal to BR at field, in that table, I want you to extract for me the surname. And what I want you to do, guys, if you are done, you can autofill that function. You can autofill that function down, and you can just simply see the only thing that must change is the background color, okay, of the surname. It still must be exactly the same surname. So you'll see if I autofill it down once, fill in will just have a background of green. Gonna just go to the mark allocation. You get one mark for B7. That is what you want to look up, the ranger ID. In that table, rangers B2 to E22. And then the row index number is the third column. They do not award a mark for false because by default, Excel will put in the VLOOKUP a false. Okay? But type in rather there, be safe than sorry, where you will get a mark rather for adding a false there instead of leaving it blank. So rather you know exactly when do we use true, when do we use false. Right, 4.4. Question 4.4. Game drives are classified as follows. The mornings start before 12 o'clock. Afternoons is from 12 to 17:30. Nights are from 17:30 onwards. Insert a nested if function in D3. So there's D3. To classify game drive time using this time in cell E7 and the time of day in J1 to O1. So E7, there's when the game drive starts. And then they tell us they're also J1 to O1. There they give us these values here. Okay? So you can see there, morning drive starts before 12 o'clock. From 12 o'clock onwards, it is from 12 o'clock to 17:30, it's 12, it is morning drives, and then night drives is from 7:30 onwards. So let's quickly see there. We're going to start there off by if, a nested if. What is the first test? We must test if the game drive starts before. If the game drive is smaller than 12 o'clock. Let's just check the memo again. If the game drive in E7, is smaller than 12. If it's smaller than 12. I'm going to put absolute cell reference on this. If that is smaller than 12, yes, then it means if it's true, it will be the morning. Then we're going to start the next if. If what? If E7 is bigger than or equal to 12. If that is true with F4 on it, if that is true, that is afternoon. If it's not any one of those, if it's not morning, if it's not afternoon, then it will be night. Sorry, if that one is bigger than 12, it's night. If E7 if false, not 100% sure if it will work. Let's just start another if E7 is bigger than or equal to 1730, F4, if that is true, it will be a night drive, night. See now, it changes it, so it's wrong. You can see there, if I autofill it down, this one should be morning, it's correct, that one must be night, so that one is wrong. So the last part is wrong, so I'm going to remove this part here. I'll simply put in that there, and then if it's not equal to that, it will be after noon. Let's see if this works. Oh no. Yes. Let's see if that works. Bigger than only, because we should not include that. Morning, morning. Morning is spelled wrong here, but it doesn't matter. Afternoon, night, afternoon, there we go. That is the correct function. So morning, I just want to spell correctly, morning. Just have a look there. So we test the first condition. If E7 is smaller than O2, so that means if it's smaller than 12 o'clock, then it is morning. If E7 is bigger than 1730, it is night. If it's not one of these two, it must be afternoon. I'm going to just quickly check the memo as well. Just want to check the mark allocation. We use that first one. We said if E7 is bigger than O2, is smaller than O2, it's in the morning. That is smaller than 12 o'clock, that is morning. If E7 is bigger than or equal to O3, that is night. So if it's bigger than or equal to 1730, it's night. If it's not morning or night, it must be afternoon. There are a couple of ways you can do it. The first one is the mark is if nested if syntax returns correct output. The first criteria is E7 smaller than O2. The output is morning. The next one is if E7 is bigger than or equal to O3, that's 1730, it's night. And then criteria from 12 o'clock to before 1730 is afternoon. They have a whole diagram here that explains, guys, basically how it should work is if condition 1 mark, output correct for condition 1 mark. Another condition 2, output correct for condition 2, and then output correct for condition 3. If it's not the first condition, it doesn't meet the second condition, it must be the third condition. Okay? So here with the nested if, I want to emphasize just quickly here, in the exam paper they stated clearly you must use a nested if. If they don't state that you must use a nested if, there are easier ways to get to an answer. Okay? Where you can simply use a VLOOKUP on the times. Okay? That is another alternative, but here in this case they said you must use a a nested if, and you must use the cells O2 and O3. Happy? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. The next question, each game drive lasts 2 hours and 45 minutes. Insert a time function in F7 to display the time the game drive will end. So there it's when it will end. We will use the time. We'll use their time, but they tell us they insert a time function. So we're going to say there the time, the hour of E7, the time of E7, that's the hour of E7. We want to add 2 hours there. Then we want to take the minutes. We want to take the minutes of E7 and we want to add there 45. And then we want to just have the seconds there. They don't have seconds there, but we can use the seconds of E7. And now if I auto-fill it down, it should simply just replace the text with the highlight. So we have the time, the hour of E7, so that will be 1700, the hour of E7, 1700 plus 2 hours. Then we go into the minute parameter. We have used the minutes of E7. We add the 45 minutes, and then we simply use the seconds also of E7. Right. Happy? The time, the hour of E7 plus 2 hours, because the game drive is 2 hours and 45 minutes. And then we go into the minutes of E7 plus 45, and then we have seconds there. So you get an hour argument, 2 hours added to the original time, minutes 45 minutes added to the original time. Seconds argument is just 0, and then you have used cell reference E7 the whole time. This is a typical time question. They can also do this with date. They can also do it with date, where instead of hours, minutes, and seconds you use year, month, and day. They'll tell you the due date is 2 weeks from now, and then you will have to add the 14 days, or 2 years, or 3 months. So you must just have a look there on the date function as well, where we use date, and we will use their month, year, month, and day. Same function, get to the same answer, same function, but instead of using time, you use date. You can save question 4. We're going to jump into question 5. Again, question 4, guys, I want to just say on question 3 and 4, there isn't actually difficult questions where you will get 0. This 3.4 is a bit tricky, but also not tricky if you use building blocks. Conditional formatting is straightforward. Question 3, there's nothing actually very difficult. It's only that one question, and then question 4, 4.4 maybe a bit difficult, but the rest is not, because they tell us sum ifs, VLOOKUP. I'm not a big fan of telling you guys use a sum if, use a VLOOKUP, because you must actually know what function to use where. Open up 5 bookings. 5 bookings. They tell us there, open the database 5 bookings. 5.1, open the TBL 5_1 in the design view and edit it as follows. So you'll click on enable editing. There's TBL 5.1 design. Yes. Yes. 5.1.1. Change the field properties of the surname field so that the field may not be left blank. Or another word they use there is make sure the field is filled in. Make sure the field is compulsory to fill in. So we must make it a required field. So 5.1.1, change the field property of surname. There's surname. We must change the field property of required there to yes. So field property there you change to yes. The next one there, each traveler has a unique code that automatically links his or her details to the agency. Insert an input mask on the member number field. Member number field, input mask. We will have the first letter of the traveler's surname, followed by the date of birth as it appears in the ID before the followed by the @tvl. So the first letter of the traveler's surname, input on the membership. So we will have the input on the membership. Input mask will be the first letter of the surname. So that is an L. Sorry, I just want to read there again on the paper itself. They give us there a lowercase letter. You can see in the example also. I've missed that one. The first letter of the traveler's surname, we're going to do it now. Followed by the date of birth as it appears in the ID number. So let's quickly see there the ID number. If you have the ID number there, let's just see there, US the ID number there before 6. You can see in the example as well. What you should actually do here is look at the example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So we will have 6 compulsory numbers there. So we will have there, we have the surname there, the first letter of the surname, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, followed by @tvl. And that @tvl must be in inverted commas. So let's just check there quickly. If we run it in the member number field, we have there 1 letter followed by digits @tvl. I'm just going to say there, just add data there so we can just test it. And the one thing that I've missed there, guys, it must be a lowercase letter. So I just want to click here somewhere. Yeah. Membership number, it must be lowercase, so I'm going to just put there a smaller than sign in before. Just going to go back to the memo, just show you how the marks are allocated. Here it's a bit confusing because the first letter of the traveler's surname, you will think that you must use a function left 1 to extract the surname, okay? But you should use the input mask character codes there. It's a smaller than sign for lowercase, followed by an L, compulsory letter, followed by 6 compulsory numbers, followed by @tvl. So just have a look there on mine. I have nothing in there, so I'm going to have the smaller than L, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters, followed by inverted comma @tvl inverted comma. So there's the input mask. Happy? The next one, the next question. Change the field property of the travel date as follows. Apply the medium date format, set the date picker that it will not display. So here on travel date, we must select the format, medium date, and then you'll say there, show date picker never. Let's just read there. Apply the medium date format. Remember guys, kyk gou hierso. The data type is already date and time. If it was short text or something else, you first had to change it to date and time in order to get medium date there. So you have the format medium date, show date picker, never. Happy? Next one. Guys, the table is easy marks. 5.1.4, the accommodation field should display options for accommodation types from the TBL accommodation table. Edit the field properties of the accommodation field to display the type of accommodations where tourists can stay. So let's scroll down, accommodation. There you can see, guys, if you click on accommodation, the grade 11s, we did this. We have the lookup. Could you remember this? Where we have selected there a combo box. Now what we tell here, it should be based on a table or query. And it should be, it should be based on the table TBL accommodation. So here you have accommodation, you say lookup, change it from a display control combo box to it must be a combo box. The row source type should not be a value list, it should be table query, and it should be based on TBL accommodation. Just going to check here the mark allocation again. We have the row source type, table, query. Okay? So they only give us one mark there for table query. Next question. Question 5. Insert a field named ID copy below the surname field that will link to the certified copy of an identity document. So here we must just add another field there called ID copy. They tell us there that field must be below surname. So we must click here on the grey area on the left hand side, click and hold in the mouse button, you'll see a black line appear. You will move it up just so that that is just below the surname. Insert a field named ID copy below the surname that will link to a certified copy of an identity document. So the data type here will be an either OLE object or an attachment. I'm going to make it an OLE object. Let's see the memo. Field ID inserted, a copy inserted. Position is below the surname. The data type is a hyperlink, attachment, or an OLE object. So you will get your marks there for the ID copy field below surname, OLE object. We must get these marks in the exam, grade 11s, 12s. This is the easy marks in Access that you must get. It's 3 marks, mahala. Right, save and close the TBL table. Just close the TBL table, yes. Modify the form based on the table info table in the design view. Modify the form as shown as in the example below. And they tell us their note. Insert the 5 image logo to be 9 centimeter wide and 4 centimeter high. So let's go there. We will do that quickly. In the design view of the form, the first thing we're going to do there is in the form, we're going to click on Form Design, Insert Image, Browse. This image will now be in your examination folder. It will be in your examination folder. 5 logo. Now I will just check where did they insert it. They insert it in the header. What I want to emphasize here quickly, just have a look here. You can see the grey background there. You can see the white background there. That means that is inserted in the header. They also specify the width and the height. The height should be 4. And what should the width be? 9. So 4 and 9. Remember guys, luister gou vir my. Luister gou. Each control on the form has its own set of properties. So here we have an image. Here we have a text box. If you right click and you go to properties, not form properties, properties, you see there on the right hand side, it will tell you the property sheet of that control. This is an image. If I click on surname, it will tell me it's a text box. Left hand side on surname, they'll tell me it's a label. So you can, if you have this property sheet, you can change all the properties of any control. Right. What I just want to mention here is, you can see here, there's a bit of white there below and above travel agent. Do you see that? Guys, do you see that? Just have a look there. Do you see the white space there below? Do you see on the picture there's no white space? Do you see that? I'm not sure if you will get a mark for this or not, but rather do it than not do it. You can see it touches it. So what I do there is the size mode, I change to zoom. Sorry, I'll change a bit around here. Yeah, you can't. It doesn't show. You can see there. I want this white space to be gone. Doesn't matter which size mode you choose. It is still there, and it's also not visible in the question paper. So let's see later on how the marks will be allocated. Add a value, so that is inserted 9 by 4. So click on the picture, must be 9 and 4. That's correct. Next one, add a validation rule property to the date field to only accept dates in the year 2023 to 2025. So the date field, which one is the field, guys? The left hand side one is the label. The field is the text box. So we will click on date, the text box, the field, we'll click on data. And here, what I just want to see here is how the dates are entered. You can see there, the dates are entered by year, month, and day. Do you see that? So what we need to do here is we need to add a validation rule here to accept dates between. So we're going to say here between 2023/01/01 and 2025 slash 12, sorry, slash 12 slash 31. They tell us there, add a validation rule property to the only accept the dates between that year. Save the changes before testing your answer. So what I want you to see here is, guys, they don't tell us to insert a validation text, but I'm going to insert a text. I will insert here only dates between 20, you can write there after 2023 and before 2025. Only dates after 2023 and before 2025. And I have there between 2023 /01/01, that's the 1st of January 2023, and 2025 /12/31, so that is the 31st of December 2025. Here you could have used the operators bigger than equal to instead of between. You will have the bigger than equal to 2023 /101/01 and smaller than or equal to 2025 /12/31. And then I remember what I said the other day, né? Your validation text must be the same or explaining your validation rule. If you had there between 2024 here, 01/01 and 2025 /12/31, your validation text should have read only dates between after 2024 and before before 2026. Mine is wrong. Before 2026. I wanted to make the wording different here because the between is actually an operator. So a lot of learners simply just type there between 2024 and 2020 and not after 2025. Okay, but this must explain to the marker what you're actually trying to do there, or what they must enter. Only dates after 2024, including 2024 and before 2026. So this must actually describe what you are doing. You don't get a mark for this, I think. I'm just going to read there. Save the changes. Let's see the mark allocation quickly. You have inserted the picture in the header. The size is that. Then the validation rule is between that and that. Or you can use the operators like I said. It's 3 marks this, guys. The date's easy to enter and another date. So it's quite easy to get these marks on the validation rule. If it doesn't work, what do we do, guys? Screenshot, né? So let's say for argument's sake, you have messed up something here, you have typed in something like that, and you get this thing the whole time, the expression is invalid. You'll go to the snipping tool. You'll simply just cut out the problem or your answer. You will then save this picture in your examination folder. You'll save it in the examination folder. In your examination folder, sorry, mine is on the desktop. I'll just save it there as error question, and then I will just put the question there. It's 5.2. So error question 5.2, and there we go. And now this is saved in your exam folder. The screenshot, you will remove the validation rule, the validation text, and then you'll be able to close the form again. Okay? So please, if you get an error, you take a screenshot. That's the easiest to get your marks. The next question, 5.3. Open the query 5_3 based on the table in the design view. So 5.3 in the design view. Display the records of all the travelers who booked in a group size of more than 3 people through Easy Stay Booking agent and will be using a taxi or private option for transport. So here's a handful, it's 5 marks. Who booked a group size of more than 3 people. So let's quickly see there. I would like to run the query. There's group size more than 3 people. So that means 4, 5, 6 and upwards. So the group size we will have there bigger than 4. sorry, bigger than 3, ne? 3 people, sorry, bigger than 3. You could have added there bigger than equal to 4 as well, ne? Because it should just include 4. So here, bigger than 3, more than 3 people through the Easy Stay booking agent. So let's quickly see the booking agent, how it is spelled. There's Easy Stay. So we have there underneath Easy Stay, the criteria, we will have there booking agent. Okay? For more than 3 people through the Easy Stay booking agent, and we'll be using a taxi or private transport option. So let's see transport, private or taxi. So the transport here must be taxi or private. So have a look there, guys, on my criteria line. I have there underneath transport, taxi or private, booking agent, Easy Stay, and the group size bigger than 4. You could have put one of these private on the OR line. You could have done this, but then it's important. You see, you get the wrong output now, because it will show you any private. You must then also add there Easy Stay on that line, and then also bigger than 3. Then you also get the same output. Okay? But it's important that you understand the OR line. You must add the Easy Stay then on that line as well. Let's see the mark allocation quickly on question 5.3. The one is for taxi or private. That's 2 marks. Then we have the bigger than 3 or bigger than or equal to 4, and the logic applied. So there is the second option. The number of expected records are 4. You will see there are 4 records on 5.3. Okay. Then if you're unsure, you put it on one line. If you're unsure, you can put it on 2 lines. You maybe just lose the last mark. Okay, for the logic. 5.4. Sorry, 5.4. We have to open the query 5_4 based on the table info in the design view. Display the total cost per booking agent. So let's quickly open up just 5.4 and see what we have there. 5.4. So what they want us to do here is they want us to have the booking agents grouped together and then add up the total cost of each booking. So for instance, renovations.com is 1223. Renovations.com again is 1984. Reservations.com 1934. They want us to add up all the amounts for each booking agent. So easy. We're going to go to the design view. We're going to use the totals command. It must group it by the booking agent. So we want, have a look there. I'm just going to run it to show you here. We want to group it. We're going to click on totals group by booking agent. So we want all the Easy Stays together, all the Jacaranda trees together, renovations.com together, Sweet Dreams together, Welcome Here together. So we want to group it by the booking agent, but then we want to add up the total cost. So we're going to say sum the total cost. So we have the Easy Stay, 31,403. How do I know? Is because I see there's sum of cost. So we want to have Easy Stay together, all the Easy Stays together. We want to add them together to get that answer. I'm just going to show you here. It's 2 marks. It is the totals grouped by booking agent and then the total cost sum. What in the exams, guys, it's an aggregated function. Get this, in the exams sometimes they'll give you the screenshot like this and then tell you generate a summary like this. Okay, and then you'll see we want to group it according to agent. We want to sum it according to cost. Happy? That's 5.4. 5.5. 5.5. Open the query on the table. So open up that query. I'm just going to open up it in the in the datasheet view. The calculated field here determines wherever traveler was born in the year 19 or 20. Do not modify the year function. Insert a new calculated field called date of birth to combine the values in the year field and the date of birth in the ID field to display as follows: the year, the month, and then the day. So let's quickly just see there the year function. What does the year function do for us here? You see here it displays to us 20 or 19. And then followed by the ID number. So here we have O, that is 2000, the 11th month, the 19th. Are you with me? So we have the year 2000, 11th month, 19. The second one is the 2001, the second month, the 28th. Are you following what I'm saying here, guys? So what we need to do here is, we need to have a new field. We're going to use the text functions. We're going to call this field DOB. Now in the exam, this is not negotiable. I said to you, if you do not know what to do, you can still get a mark for the field name. But it's important that you type in the DOB and any field that you have there in square brackets. So let's say, for instance, I know I should have used the year field, so I'll have there just here in square brackets. Okay? But I'm going to just show you now here. So to get this one mark, you simply have any random field there in the date of birth field. Okay? Luckily we know what to do. Luckily we know what to do. So we have the date of birth field. The year is if left. Yeah. It will not work here with us because that must be semicolons. I'm just going to change it. You see my regional settings is not correct, so maybe the whole operator will not, nothing will work. Let's just see there if it does work, but you will see there the operators are commas and not semicolons. So you'll see, I'm going to just do it. Maybe I will not get the correct output, so just follow me. So what they tell us there, we need to combine things together. We need to do determine the value of the year field and the date of birth field displayed as YYYYMMDD. So what we need to do is we need to actually put together the year and left of the ID field so I just want to do this, left of the ID field bracket, and then we must have the 6 digits. I don't think it will work with mine because of the regional settings. So let's just see. Yeah, it will not work. Just going to put in a comma there. Let's just see. Yeah, it does not work because of the if here that is not working, because of the semicolons. But that is what they want from us, guys. The DOB, you're going to take the year and you're going to add there the left 6 characters. So that will give me 8 characters in total. So that's 4, 2, 2, it's 8. Just have a look on the memo there. You have the date of birth, the new field's name, the year field, and the left of the ID field 6 digits. So that is how the marks are allocated. We have the, again, why it doesn't work is because of the regional settings here. So we can ignore that. We're going to take the date of birth field, the year, that's the 2 characters, followed by 6 characters of the ID field. The 6 characters of the ID field. So that if it doesn't work, don't break your head now. If you get an error, just take a screenshot. But the only problem here, let me just change this one. Maybe this will work, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it does not work. Is that comma that? Because here it tells you if left of ID is 1, if the left of the ID is 1, so if that number is smaller than or equal to 3, it's 20. If it's not, it is 19. So they used an IF here. You can see the IF. I'm going to go to the next question, guys. Question 5.6. Create a report called RPT 5_6 based on the table info as follows. So we're going to use the report wizard. Create report wizard. They tell us it should be based on the TBL info. Display the surname, name, group size, accommodation, and transport. I'm just going to read further on. Display the surname, name, group size, accommodation, and transport fields. Display the total number of people per transport type in the group footer. Sort the information according to the surname field. So we're going to say next. We must group it according to. Display the total number of people per transport type. So we're going to group it according to transport. We're going to then sort it according to surname. And we're going to call it RPT 5_7. _6, ne? Yeah, _6, sorry. So what is nice again on this question, they actually tell you exactly what to do. They tell you they display the surname, name, group size, accommodation, and transport fields. Display the total number of people per transport type in the group footer. So what we need to do is, in the group footer, we need to add up the group size. So we want to add up how many people are in the bus, how many people are private, and so on. Okay? So in the group footer, we'll go to the design view of the query. We'll say that, report, sorry, the report, design view. We'll say there on the report design group and sort. We did this group on transport. We want to add there with a footer section. So the first thing is you create the report, then you click on group and sort, then you click on more, and you ensure that you have a transport footer section. And now that they want us to do the total number of people per transport type. So now we're going to use A, B, the text box and the label. In the footer, in the report footer, in the group footer, sorry. In the group footer, we'll have the total transport, total per transport. And here we're going to use sum, and we're going to use the group size. Equal size sum, and then we have the group size. I get an error message. Why do I get an error message here, guys? Can someone tell me? Why do I get an error message here? If I run the report, why do I get the parameter value error? Enter parameter value. Why do I get that error? What is wrong with my calculation there? Boeglet. The space in between group and size, ne? Because it must be spelled exactly the same as in the details section here. You see group size has no space in between. If you do that, you'll see the total bus is 44, the total private is 66, shuttle is 69, and then 103 for taxi. So I'm going to go back to the design view, just check here. In the transport footer, you have a label that describes what you are calculating. You are calculating the total per transport. I'm going to just go to the memo, show you here. They tell you there, fields displayed. So if you add those fields, it's 1 mark. Grouping according to transport. You had the sum in the transport footer, it's 1 mark. Sum group size, and then sorted by surname. So that is the mark allocation. Just quickly, if you are unsure where to do the calculation, grade 11s and 12s, where do we do the calculation then? In the report footer, ne? So you will just drag the report footer here at the bottom bigger, and you do the calculation here. Okay? You will lose 1 mark. You will still get all the other marks if you just do it in the report footer. Important thing for me here, guys, is the description of the of the calculation. It must describe actually what you are calculating. Please, it must describe what you are calculating. Right, that's question 5.6. Right, you can close the database. You can open up your HTML, Notepad++ and Google Chrome on 6.1. Dolphin. Right, 6.1. Let's say so. Web pages were created to give more information about the Dolphin Coast and the Isimagaliso Wetland Park. Open the incomplete 6_1 Dolphin file in your web browser and HTML editor. 6.1.1. Add an attribute to the body tag so that the whole page will display in a blue font color. A blue font color. So we will go into body. We will have an attribute there, text, and we will then type in the blue in inverted commas. You have the inside the body tag, you'll have text equal blue. Other one you can add there to the body is BG color if you must change the background color of that text, of that web page. Happy? Next question, 6.1.2. Add tags to make the text, did you know, display as a level 2 heading. So there is 6.2, did you know, we're going to just add the H2 opening tag and we're going to have there at the end H2 closing tag. You can see there guys, did you know. Right. 6.1.3. Format the text that starts with the Dolphin Coast and ends with year-round tropical climate as shown in the screenshot. Let's just see there. What do you see there, guys? The Dolphin Coast up until climate. Format the text that starts with Dolphin Coast there. The Dolphin Coast and ends with year-round tropical climate. What did they apply here? Bold. Ne? So we're going to make that bold. So from there, B, and then ends with tropical climate closing bold. Save, reload. You can see, hey, I didn't close it. Close the bold. Save, reload, close the bold. Just quickly gonna go to the memo, guys. Let's see there. Body tag blue, that we did, H2, there we have bold, opening and closing tags. Check guys, it's 1 mark for both. It's 1 mark for opening bold and a 1 mark for closing bold. It's 1 mark in total. So if you leave out the closing bold, maybe you will lose the last mark. 6.1.4, sorry. Create a link to the email address as shown at the bottom of the web page. So let's quickly see there. There is the email address. Okay. So there's the email address. So what we need to do here, we need to cut the email address. I'm going to cut it. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see a href equals sign, and then we're going to have in there we're going to add there the address in inverted commas, and then we're going to have a bracket there for more info, email, and I'm going to let's add that email address there as well. Email, that address, and then we have a closing anchor. Let's see. If I save, reload, I'll just add that email address there. I'm just going to check how the marks are allocated because they didn't specify. So the first mark is the AHREF. Oh, we must have their mail too. Sorry, we must add their mail too. Attribute HREF mail too, and then the text dolphin coast at gmail.com. So I must just add their mail too. I've inserted the whole thing in a hyperlink where you should click on. They simply did this. They moved this anchor element. They just move it here to before dolphin. So that is basically what they did. I'm just going to add the mail to. Mail to. And then that. Just have a look there. Let's see. I just want to quickly see if I do that, if I click on that, yeah, it should take me to that email. I just want to quickly just check on the memo again. It's dolphin. Sorry, it must be a hash there as well. It's on your cheat sheet. It's on the cheat sheet. There we go. So we have the AHREF equals sign mail to #dolphincoast@gmail.com, and then we have the actual word there, dolphingmail.com, and then the closing anchor. Now you see, they tell you except with or without mail to and or the hashtag. So if you just type in the HREF and then the email address, like I did, you'll get your marks. Right. That is 6.1. That is 6.1. I hope you're happy with that one. I'll close both of them. Open up 6.2 now. Right, 6.2. Open the incomplete 6_2 heritage web page in the web browser and the text editor. Complete the web page to look like that. Note the background color of the table is beige. Right. Let's quickly see how it looks when, that is how it looks. So what we need to do there is first, one mark, it's 9 marks, guys. So this was a bit of an unfair question because you had to do so many things. So let's start from the top. You can see the picture does not display correctly. Do you see that? What is wrong with the picture? It is the pictures. Let me just open up the file there. You'll see. Oh, sorry. Just want to quickly get there. You'll see that picture is called 6_flamingo. Let's just see what is the property of that thing. It's a .jpg, né? So you must change that BMP to .jpg. There the picture displays now. So that file extension is wrong. The next thing that we have to look there, the heading is fine, that picture is fine, the text, let's just see the text, how it's displayed. Also looks alright. The table is a bit of a problem. So let's quickly see the table there, how it should look. You have the Lake St. Lucia there. You have top 10 jewels of the wetland park there. How many columns do we have there? Can someone tell me how many columns do we have there? Jewels of the wetland we have 1, 2, 3. We have how many columns there, guys? 1, 2, 3, and then the last one is 4. But the 10 jewels of the wetland park must expand over 3 columns. Do you see that? So I'm going to add the TD, I'm going to have the call span equal 3. Let's see, if I save reload, what happens? Oh, goodness, sorry. Oh, I must also change the background color. There we go. Just have a look there quickly. Sorry, because now, there's the code, there's the, yeah. So we have 10 joules of the wetland park, we have the there. We also have the Lake St. Lucia that spans over all 3 rows. So we're going to have here row span equal 4. Let's see if that works. If we have row span equal 4 there we go. So we have 2 there. It's TD call span 3, wetland park. There are so many marks here that you can easily miss something here. Okay, I'm just going to check there. Yeah. So here we have that there, that we have the call span. Just check the bullets now underneath quickly. Leave the table now. If the table looks fine, go down, look at the bullets for me there. And this is the example how it should look. You can see it is a circle type bullet. Okay, so we know that we're going to add here a UL, and then we're going to have their type. Now we're going to have their type equal circle, and then we're going to have a closing UL here at the bottom. And the last thing we must do is change the background color to beige. There's an empty space here, an empty area squared. What is the problem there? You can see the areas, there's no blank bullet here. What is the problem? I have an area and then I have a blank bullet there. It's because after kilometers squared, that's an opening ally. It should not be an opening ally, it should be a closing ally. So you can see that there's the problem. After that area, 3,280 kilometers square, you have a closing ally there. Happy? It's 9 marks. We still have to change the background color of the page to beige, because they told us there in the beginning. So in the body, we're going to have BG color equal beige. Now I'm going to go to the memo quickly to check the mark allocations if we did everything. First one is JPG, 1 mark. BG color beige. Sorry, it's only of the table. It's not of the whole web page. It's only of the table. So I'm going to cut out there out of the body. I'm going to cut it and I'm going to simply paste it here in the table element. So that not the whole web page should be beige. It's only the table. Another mark, so it's BG color beige. Then we have the call span. Oh, we missed a line. You can see how easy you can miss marks here. So you can see there that heading 10 joules of the wetland park in the exam paper, you can see it is in the middle. You see that? So that's why they have an extra mark here that I don't have. Well, they've spotted it well there. I missed it. The call span there, we have a line equal center. Let's see. There it's align center. So I just add there also on the TD call span, align center. That's why I said to you guys, it's difficult to just work from the screenshot. It's very easy to miss something. So there we have call span 3, we have row span 4, and then we have UL circle. We have that closing ally that is corrected, and then we have the whole closing ally. The file extension change, background color of the table, the call span of the table, the line center, row span 4, and then the unordered list UL tags, type circle, and then we have a closing tag that is correctly added to the last one. Right, so that is question 6. That is, it's very difficult, guys. I want to emphasize this. When we get a picture like this, and then they tell you simply just make sure it looks like this. Please start from the top, the very first word that appears. Look at the formatting, look at the alignment, look at the picture, look at the table, the data inside the table, look at the bullets in detail, guys. A lot of the learners didn't get this mark. The circle will not be, it will be hollowed, it will not be a black circle if you type in the equals in the UL type circle. If you type nothing in the UL, it will be bullet, it will be black circles. It will not be hollowed. So please take note of that. Open up question 7, open up 7 maps. You can close both your HTML, Notepad++ and Google Chrome. So right, so let's quickly see there. We have there 7 maps. And here's easy marks, guys. What is the order in how we do the question papers? We do question 1, 2. We do question 5, 6, 7. And then we do question 3 and 4. Ne? So we leave question 3 and 4 till the last, especially if you are struggling. But question 7 sometimes have so easy marks that you can get. 7.1.1. Tourism in KwaZulu-Natal contributes significantly to the economy of the country. 7.1.1. Insert a calculation in the table to determine the percentage of KwaZulu-Natal's contribution to tourism in South Africa. So what you had to do here, enable editing. What you had to do here is, you had to actually take the 100% and minus the sum of these percentages. So let's quickly go to formula. We'll say 100 minus sum of above. Sorry, okay. Yeah, I get a wrong answer here of minus 23 because of my decimal places. You can see the 100 minus sum above. 100 minus sum above. So just check there. I'm going to just update it. I'm going to toggle it quickly to show you. I have the 100 minus the sum above. So that simply means 100% minus all the other percentages. I will not get the correct answer because of the decimal places. If you change this, I'm going to quickly change this to commas just to see. See if I update the field. There we go. It's just that commas that is wrong. In the exam, guys, if you inserted that there, you will get the marks. Don't be worried about the commas. So the markers will only Alt F9. But then we must change. You must make sure the regional settings are correct on your PC. The comma is a full stop and vice versa. Your comma, the default one is the comma and not the full stop. Right, that's 14.8, so let's just see there, 7.1.2. Insert the value of contribution of KZN in the text box provided. Format the position of the text box to resemble the screenshot below. So guys, this is it's not difficult. What they want there is this text box of KZN. You type in there 14.8. If you did not get the answer, you type in the wrong answer there, it's also fine. So if you got minus 23, you'll just type in there minus 23%. And now, they want us to move this text box over KZN, and they want us to rotate it to be on KZN. You can see that they want us to move it to KZN. Insert the value of the contribution of KZN in the text box provided. Format the position of the text box to resemble the screenshot. The only thing that they do, that this does now have that we don't want, is the border. So we're going to click on shape, click on the shape, click on shape format. We're going to say outline, no outline. Again, it's easy marks. They tell us their position moved to the KwaZulu-Natal area on the map, no outline, and then rotate. Marked by inspection, so it must just be rotated so that it looks like that in the question paper. It must just resemble that on the question paper. It's very easy marks, guys. It's marks that you should get in the exam. Right, save the 7 map document and then open the database 7 travelers mode. Enable editing. Now, open the 7 traveler mode database. Import the 7 traveler spreadsheet as a linked table named info in the 7 travel mode database. So we're going to click on external data, import from file, an Excel spreadsheet. Then we will click on browse. We will go to our examination folder. We will select these 7 travelers, but now have a look at the question. Import the 7 travelers spreadsheet as a linked table named info in the 7 travelers travel mode database. Set the first row to appear as column headings. So here we must tick the link, the data source, by creating a linked table. You must not click on import the source data into a new table in the current database. You must tick the link, the data source, by creating a linked table. Click on OK. You will have this window, this wizard that appears. You'll select the first row contain column headings because they tell us they set the first row to appear as column headings. Click on next and then save it as info, so it's already the info, so you click on finish. They'll tell you finish linking table info to file and then you click on OK. That is how it should look, guys. Info with that Excel to the left of it. I'm going to quickly just go to the memo. Import the 7 travelers spreadsheet into the 7 travelers database, 7 travel mode database as a link table named info. So there they also give us the icon how it will look. Happy? Happy? So that is the import. So what I'm going to have here now on the next question, so that is 3 easy marks. Open up 7 big spreadsheets, the 7 big spreadsheet. Now, the KZN Travel Agency is running a competition to promote awareness of the big 5 animals. Enable editing. As tourists see the animals within the week, it is recorded in cell B2 to H7. So there it's recorded the animals they see. Each animal seen can be recorded only once during the week. So here you can, if you have seen 4 elephants, it's only recorded once in a week. So you will not have the elephant. Determine wherever the tourist has seen all the big 5 animals at the end of the week by using the following steps. The data in cell I2 to 07 will indicate whether the animal is seen, is part of the big 5 or not. So here it indicates if it is the big 5 or not. Use an OR function in cell M to determine whether the animals in F2 is a big 5 animal or not. Copy the function down to the other cells. Use a formula in P3 to determine whether Bonakile saw all the big 5 animals. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use an OR statement, not an if statement, in cell M2. Determine wherever the animals in cell F2 is big 5 or not. So here what we must do is equal sign, or we must check if this is equal to, that is the buffalo is equal to the big 5. If this cell is equal to this one, F4. Or if F2 is equal to the elephant, F4. Or if, or F2 is equal to the leopard with F4. And the next, or if F2 is equal to then the lion, F4. And then we must also test the last one, or F2 is equal to the rhino. So basically what we did here, ek gaan nou vir julle gou verduidelik. What we basically did here is we tested, I don't want to use the word if, we tested, don't want to use if, we test what is in F2 and we check if what is what is in F2 is equal to the big 5 that is located here in in B11 to B15. So we just simply check if the buffalo is anywhere indicated in the big 5, and then we auto-fill it down. So then we check F3, if the lion is any one of the big 5, if the hippo is any one of the big 5, and so on. So I'm going to quickly show you the memo here. I want to quickly show you here. What we do here is the first thing, we simply determine if F2 is relevant to all the big 5s and display required results when copied down. So that is the F4 that we put on the big 5. So that is basically what we did here. We tested here if the F2, if the animal that is spotted during that week, if that animal is part of the big 5. That is the first thing we do. We check if F2 is equal to the big 5. Happy? I'm going to read the next part there also, what they want us to do here now. They tell us, use an OR function. We did that. In M2, determine whether the animals in F2 is a big 5 animal or not. Copy the function down to the other cells. The last one. Use a formula in P3 to determine whether Bonakile saw all the big 5 animals. So what do we need to test here? We need to test if there are at least 5 truths. Are you with me? Because the big 5 is the big 5 animals. So we're going to use here count if. Count if. We're going to use count if here, if it's equal to 5. And then I want to actually use this as a building block. I want to actually use this as a building block. Net vir ietsie so kyk. Oh yeah. I want to really just check here. They've used the count if equal 5, equal 5. And then I'll just simply add here equal 5 also. Let's see. Just want to put this in the inverted comma. Also gives me false. So count if is true, man. Sorry, ek is heeltemal van die storie af. I'm off the story now here. Still off. Because true there. Just have a look there, guys. Kyk gou. count if I3 to O3 is true. So check how many times count, true appears. If it's equal to 5, we just say simply it's true. Okay, so we check there in that range if it's equal to 5. If it is equal to 5, it means they have spotted the big 5. I will quickly just here on the right hand side do a building block. So I have the count if in this range, true. So if we have true here, so just check for me how many times true appears here. And I'll just say here then, if equal to Q3 is equal to 5. And that's my building block. So you can use the building blocks there as well. It's up to you. So here we simply have count how many times true appear. If true appears 5 times, it means they've seen the big 5. So here I'll simply say if Q3 is equal to 5. So if the number of times true appears here is 5 times, it means they have spotted the big 5. And then question 7 on 2023's paper that we didn't finish.